depression is stress times 100 times, because these are things that eat you up, and most times these are the things that you've not been able to share. What I believe started it was in 2010 when I got raped by my friend's fiancé. It was like someone ripping you off of your happiness. If I came up to someone and told them I'm depressed and it's because of a relationship or something, they would laugh. So I would prefer to keep quiet and die with it. Or in a culture like ours, in Africa, I should say, when you share situations you're going through, most times it becomes a talk around town. I remember after like 2 months of not getting any help, because I was scared of telling anyone, scared of being judged and being talked about everywhere, especially by family. I stopped eating food. All I would do was cry, drink, because it seemed to be the only thing that would comfort me. After a few years, it felt like I'd cleared it away. I started relationships. In those relationships, one thing that I expected was to be loved. Never would date someone and get sexual with them and things don't work out at the end of the day. I would always get that feeling of, did he just rape me like the person who did this to me? Over the years, I started hating myself. I would date someone for 1 year, 2 years, and things would fall apart. And that would trigger pain. It would trigger the depression. And I got to a point where I would take a whole month of not eating anything. Just basically drinking, because it felt like the only comfort zone that I had. At some point, I remember when I was breaking up with this boyfriend of mine, I was like, okay, if I'm not going to be with him, then the best thing to do is die. I go to the supermarket. I bought a bottle of wine, and then I collected all the drugs I could collect in the house, because I felt life was meaningless for me. I tried to commit suicide. I swallowed all the tabs. I drank everything. I blacked out. To me, I had died, but I think it wasn't my time. Maybe God said, no, she's too young to die this way. The second time was about a year after the first time I tried to attempt suicide. This time around, my whole family got to know and they came to hospital. They really asked. They did their best to find out what happened, but I couldn't explain to them because I was still scared of, how do they get to hear that I did this? How do they get to hear that this happened to me? I was scared of judgment. So what I did, I just sought for help. I started speaking to a counselor. And this counselor listened without judgment. They helped me. And the sessions were really helpful, up to a point where I was like, okay, I can do this on my own. I stopped seeing him and I just started teaching myself not to let it get to me. I started reading helpful books. I started doing a lot of research, socializing so much, talking to different people about life. It helped. And the one thing that I can tell people out there is always find someone to talk to, because unresolved situations build up, they eat you up. they rip you of your happiness, because you always have a picture in your head. You always have something in your head, a situation that you can't explain to anyone because you chose not to talk about it. So people need to seek help, and let's try not to judge these people, because depression is real. All these disorders are real, and they can happen anytime to anyone. They can happen to anyone. So we just need to learn how to help these people without judgment, giving them that comfort that everything is going to be okay no matter what happened. After getting help, after the counseling session started bringing out the positivity in me, I had this person who was on my waiting list. I call it a waiting list because he had tried dating me for like 3 years and I couldn't let him because I had my personal insecurities. I was scared. So after I started getting help, after I became better, I gave in. I started dating him and he was really supportive. Of course, I didn't explain to him everything that happened. I just told him I've been having depression episodes. I wasn't comfortable sharing. So after the counseling, I think I got the self-confidence back. I became more confident. My self-esteem built up again. I started realizing that, okay, I'm actually a beautiful woman. I'm actually attractive. I'm actually happy. I'm actually energetic. And I decided not to let what happened to me define my future, because it was in the past, it had happened, and I should let go. When I gave in to date this person, actually, surprisingly, we ended up together and we've been married. We are happy. I am genuinely happy. And I've not let this come back to me. I've not let it eat me up again. I decided to shove it somewhere and, be a positive person. So counseling helped me get out of the dark.